This is an ESP32 microcontroller, and I'm going to build an app without writing a single line of code to be able to connect to this puppy via Bluetooth Low Energy. Is it possible? Let's find out. Okay, so I've already written the firmware code to be able to connect to this ESP32 via the no-code platform. So as of filming this, we're about to start. It's around about almost 3 o'clock on Monday, May 19th, 2025, and I've got 24 hours to create a no-code app. I've never used a no-code app platform before, so this is going to be my first time using a no-code platform to be able to connect to the ESP32 via Bluetooth Low Energy. Alrighty, so I just created a Flutterflow account, and getting to the main dashboard was actually such a pain because you had to fill out like a bunch of information. But the most irritating part was none of the buttons to actually navigate through the information and all that was working. So normally there was a big purple button where you just click next and all that, and it wasn't even fucking working. What the hell? This is not a good start if your buttons aren't working, where you just all you have to do is click next, and it wasn't working. It was irritating. But yeah, so now we're gonna create our first Flutterflow project to be able to connect to this ESP32 device. Okay, so with this project template that I've got here, so they've already created the user interface in regards to the Bluetooth connection and all that, where we have connected devices, and then we've got devices, and I think there's an icon here where we can scan for the devices and all that. So that's an advantage of having this template that we've got here. But now let's actually see whether we can actually whether we can actually deploy this onto our app, onto our phone or not. So how do I do that? Okay, so I just downloaded the Flutterflow app and installed it on my Windows laptop because it says that I need to download this program in order to deploy the Flutterflow app onto my physical device, because we can't really test out the Bluetooth connection on a web device really. So I have to physically put it on my own device and all that. But it just said to me on the screen that if I wanted to deploy the Flutterflow app onto my phone, I had to pay $30 a month to Flutterflow in order to be able to deploy this test app that I'm building onto my phone. So they're already trying to extract money out of me in order to deploy this test app that I'm building straight onto my phone. But luckily there's a free trial, so as of today I'll just sign up for it, but I'll cancel it within that time period, of course. Okay, so it took me around about an hour to download all the required dependencies in order to be able to deploy the Flutterflow app onto the physical device, because I had to install some dependencies and all that. So it took around about an hour to download and install and all that and everything like that. Now I should be able to physically deploy the app onto the device. I didn't want to show you an hour of a time lapse of just waiting for it to install. That would have been very boring to watch. So let's test this out. So hopefully we can deploy it onto the phone now. So it's exporting. I think it's going to take a while for it to compile. It's probably going to take a few minutes for it to compile since we're doing it for the first time. So now it's saying that it's starting the app, so I'm just waiting for it to deploy. Hopefully it should only be a couple minutes. So I just tried to load this app using the Bluetooth project template onto my phone and all that, since we're starting off with this BLE template and all that. And now it's saying that it's unable to compile because it's missing the Flutter Blue Plus library. So I'm guessing that's obviously a Bluetooth library from Flutter that we need in order to compile this project. So now I have to figure out how do I solve this issue in a no-code environment, because I know exactly what this issue is in a normal Flutter project, but since this is a Flutterflow no-code project, I'm just thinking how am I going to solve this without using without any code. So this is going to be interesting. Let me try and figure this out. Alright, so since I haven't had this issue in Flutterflow before, for the first time I'm experiencing this issue, obviously I'm going to go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what I can do to solve this issue in Flutterflow. So I'll copy the error log and see what they can do to help me with. Okay, so now I know how to get rid of the debug log window, because that was such a pain, because I couldn't get, there's no cross at the corner of it where you can just hide that window. It was actually such a pain to actually find the menu to actually get rid of that screen. So now I found the menu where I can add custom dependencies. So I should be able to add in the Flutter Blue Plus library to the Flutterflow project now, so it's able to compile and to be ordered to be launched and deployed onto the phone. So it's the Flutter Blue Plus library. So obviously I've got that down. So I'll just click on Add Pub Dependency. So now that we've got the Flutter Blue Plus custom dependency now installed in the Flutterflow project, hopefully we should be able to compile it and deploy it onto our phone now. Alright, so now it's starting the app. Hopefully it will build this time. Oh, got another error. What's this error now? Okay, so it turns out there's another error in regards to the Flutter Blue library. So unfortunately I have no choice but to actually download the project source code and actually modify the Android source code files for the build Gradle files in order to make it compatible, in order to be able to deploy it onto our physical device. So this no-code solution isn't really a no-code solution in the first place, especially when we're working with Bluetooth, because I still unfortunately had to delve into the Android Gradle source code to actually modify it in order to support this Bluetooth library. So we're not off to a good start in regards to developing a no-code solution for a Bluetooth connection app, even for a very basic Bluetooth connection app that utilizes a no-code solution. Because even when I'm trying to set up the Flutter Blue library in this our Flutterflow project, I still need to modify the source code, especially for if I'm either deploying on both Android or iOS. According to ChatGPT, their response of this issue is that I still need to go into the build Gradle files of the Android source code to modify it in order to be able to make it compatible with the Flutter Blue Plus library. So this isn't looking good so far at the start, and it's already been an hour and a half so far, and I'm still in the setup phase of trying to get this library to work and all that. Okay guys, it's been around about 2 hours so far, so it's past 5 o'clock now. I'll show you the time on my phone. As you can see on my phone, so it's past 5 o'clock, and I've been at this project for around about a couple of hours now. The first hour was spent setting up the environments and all that, and now the second hour has been spent trying to set up the Bluetooth library in the Flutterflow project. So the goal of this video was to show you guys, is it possible to create a Bluetooth app using a no-code solution without writing a single line of code or without modifying any of the source code files. So just by using this no-code solution, as everyone's been talking about, to create a very basic app to connect to an ESP32 device. And mainly in the last hour, as you can see, it's been a struggle to try and get this Bluetooth library to work within this Flutterflow no-code project and all that, because I've had to break the rules of modifying the Android source code files and the Gradle files and all that to make it compatible and run within this Flutterflow project. And obviously, isn't the goal of a no-code app to not be working with any of the code? So this is actually breaking the challenge. So I would consider this challenge as a failure so far, because it's already been 2 hours, and obviously the challenge was not to use any code. It was supposed to be a direct no-code app to connect to this device. And I've already spent an hour researching, and ChatGPT is already telling me that, yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to download and modify the Android Gradle files and the source code files. So It's not looking good so far, so yeah, it's not looking good at all. I would have to stop here and say that this project has been a failure, so this challenge has been a fail so far, because if I'm utilizing code, then this defeats the purpose. So I had to stop the challenge, as I said earlier, because otherwise I would have been breaking the challenge rules by modifying the Android Gradle source code files in order to make it compatible in regards to the Flutter Bluetooth dependencies that were required in order to compile the no-code app. And what I found what really ridiculous was that ChatGPT told me that I had to download the actual source code files and actually modify them in order to make it compatible in regards to this no-code app, which really defeats the purpose of this challenge. The challenge of this video was to create a no-code app without writing a single line of code or by modifying any source code files and all that to be able to connect to an ESP32 device. And obviously this has failed. So obviously this no-code hype is definitely falling flat on its face, as I can see right here. And this proves my point again, especially when you're working with apps that require Bluetooth connection or Wi-Fi connection, or an app that requires integration with an embedded device. A no-code solution isn't the best solution at all, because as you just saw earlier in the video, I would have been having to require to download the project source code files and actually modify the source code to make it compatible with these external libraries that I needed in order to get a connection with an ESP32 device via Bluetooth. Some of the annoying things that I found by trying to use Flutterflow in order to create this very basic app to connect to an ESP32 device was that one of the major annoyances was that I had to put in my credit card details just so I could download the project files and all that. And when I was trying to sort the issue of not having the Bluetooth dependency linked up in the project, I actually had to download the source code files just so I could see whether I was able to actually link it or not and all that. So that was annoying. The setup process was even more annoying. When creating the account was fine, but when I was trying to go to the dashboard of creating a project and all that, I had to fill out like a questionnaire about what's the use of Flutterflow. Are you a solo entrepreneur, or are you running a company or with 100 people or something like that? Even navigating through those buttons was annoying, because the main button to go to the next windows was freaking annoying, and it wasn't working, and that drove me nuts already at the start. So it wasn't great at the start. Some of the other annoyances was like some of the windows wouldn't close. So like I was trying to when I was trying to figure out how to add in like a dependency and all that, and I was trying to load in the app on my phone, so the log windows just wouldn't go away, and I had to spend a bit of time trying to figure out how to actually close that damn window so I could actually look at the screen to see what am I actually doing, instead of trying to navigate away from it and all that. So a simple X at the top corner would have been really handy, instead of spending like 10 minutes trying to figure out how to actually close this goddamn log and put it away and all that. So in regards to the UX UI issue in Flutterflow, that was annoying as well. And yeah, and in regards to syncing the source code files and all that by downloading it onto your hard drive and then maybe resyncing, I'm not sure how that works and everything. I'm not sure if it's even synced up all the time as well. So that's a third annoyance as well. Not a lot of positives at the start in regards to using Flutterflow and all that. But what I can say is that what I've learned in the last 2 hours is pretty much what I want to say to you guys is that if you're looking to develop an app that connects to an embedded device, a no-code solution is not the way to go at all, because as you've just seen, as I spent 2 hours trying to set up the project and trying to configure everything, make it compatible with this Bluetooth library and all that, you're better off just by doing it the original way, just by creating a custom app that's built from the ground up with actual code and all that. Because especially when you're working with Bluetooth libraries or Wi-Fi libraries, you may as well take full advantage of the source code that you have when you're building it from the ground up and everything, and not using a no-code solution. Because even like some of the templates that I saw in Flutterflow, you had to pay, like one of them was $400 and all that, and some of the other ones were like $150, $200, $250 and all that. So it's better just to build up your project from the ground up from scratch, instead of relying on like these attempted like no-code solutions and all that. So that's my take on trying to use a no-code solution in order to build a Bluetooth app that connects to an ESP32 device. It was a massive, as you've just seen, it didn't go so well because of all these issues that I had. So my message to you guys, especially if you're a startup founder or a small to medium business owner, is that don't utilize a no-code solution to try and build an app that's going to be complex and that needs to be able to connect to an embedded device. Because I really thought all I had to do was select the Bluetooth library template, connect to the particular device and I would have been good to go. But it ended up being a lot more of that and a lot more headaches at the start and all that, which you guys saw. So that's why I highly recommend that you guys develop your custom mobile app from the ground up by actually using an actual source code implementation instead of a no-code solution. So if you're looking for someone to help you bring your app idea to life and you know that using a no-code solution isn't going to work, especially for your project, I would invite you to click on the link below to book in a free call with me, and we'll get on a phone call and we'll discuss how I can personally help you bring your app idea to life in the shortest amount of time possible. Thank you so much for listening and watching me try and create a Bluetooth app using a no-code solution. It ended up being a fail at the end because I would have been breaking the challenge rules in the end, but I've explained everything of why a no-code solution is not the best way to go, especially when you're building a Bluetooth app. So thank you again so much for watching. Like the video. I hope you guys learned something from me today, and I hope to see you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again.